Let us rejoice and be happy in it. Morning has broken just like the first morning. The blackbirds have spoken just like the first birds. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise with elation. Praise the creation, the recreation of this day. For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love from which our birth over and over rounds us lies, source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. Here in this congregation, we always talk about the same thing, which is there is goodness in the world, and it resides within and among us here and going further out into the world. Today's service is a little bit different, and the reason it's different is because instead of talking about something away from us, which is the spirit by which we live, we're talking about the spirit which is within and among us here in this congregation and which emanates out into the world. Our paths lead to justice and goodness. For even though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we will fear no evil, for the sacred covenant keeps us safe. Our heads are anointed with the oil of truth and grace, and surely goodness and mercy will follow us all the days of our lives, and we shall dwell in the house of light and kindness forever and ever, world without end. This is our prayer, this is our desire, this is our promise. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome to accompany us here this morning. For this is a house of love, a house of hope, a house of dreams, and you are welcome here. Come, let us worship together. Let's begin with our opening hymn on page 16. It really is true that it's a gift to be simple, okay? And especially the kids. Have you seen Annie? And do you remember the story of Annie? What's the story?
Parents died,
and she goes to an orphanage. That's true. And did everything go all right once she got in the orphanage?
No.
What happened? I think that there were lots of things that happened, but one day when they were discussing what the future might be of the orphanage and whether or not they were still going to stay there, they looked to Annie, and Annie had some words of advice for them about thinking that the future may be bright. And this is a story that we all can know something about. And I'd like you to sing along with me, if you know this song, of what happens when the sun comes out tomorrow. What happens when the sun comes out tomorrow? It's a better day. And you can bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. So you can sing this with me if you want. Oh, the sun will come out tomorrow, bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Just thinking about tomorrow clears away the cobwebs and the sorrow, till there's none. When I'm stuck with a day that's gray and lonely, I just stick out my chin and grin and say, oh, the sun will come out tomorrow, bet your dollar, hang on till tomorrow. Come what may, tomorrow, I love you tomorrow, you're always just a day away. Tomorrow, I love you tomorrow, you're always just a day away. I don't know about you, but sometimes this song is important to me. Sometimes I'm not real sure the sun is going to come out tomorrow. Sometimes I'm very sad, and I just think that it's never going to get any better. And then I remember Annie and remember all the troubles that she had. She was living in an orphanage of all things. And I'm thinking, if Annie can do it, so can I. So this is a gospel song. You never thought of it that way, did you? But it is. And the gospel is, the sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Just thinking about tomorrow clears away the cobwebs and the sorrow. When I'm stuck with a day that's gray and lonely, I just stick out my chin and grin and say, and I wish you would say it with me, oh, the sun will come out tomorrow, so you got to hang on till tomorrow, come what may. Tomorrow, I love you tomorrow, you're always just a day away. Repeat that, tomorrow, I love you tomorrow, you're always just a day away. That's true. It's a true story. Okay. I think the kids can go to their classes now, if in fact they are going to their classes today. And we will take up our food offering together, right? On Sunday morning is to share our lives and the experiences of our lives together. In a way, this is something like the weaving together of a tapestry. That tapestry is a reflection of our congregation and how it is that we're together. And it's entirely made up of the stories of our lives. So we usually take time on Sunday morning to give you the opportunity to tell us of your stories and tell us of your triumphs and tell us of your sorrows. And I would ask that each of you think about that. If you were going to let this whole congregation know about your life, what is it that you would say, and how would you say it? And we're not talking about a global situation. There's so much wrong with the world on a global level and global area, but we're talking about our own lives and how it is that we live our own lives. There is a prayer that I would like to offer in response to those important joys and sorrows which you have in your own life. This is from one of my great inspirations, John Lennon and Paul McCartney. And like the song Tomorrow, this song comes to me when times are troubled in my life, and I really think about this all the time. It's an interesting prayer because it doesn't have a real resolution to it. It doesn't say, here is the answer to all of your problems. But it does say, we are there. We live in that moment. We live in that mystery of the way our lives are going. So it just goes like this. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. 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 Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. 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 There will be an answer. Let it be. 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 There will be an answer. Let it be. When the night is cloudy, there is still a chance that light shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. And I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. There will be an answer. Let it be. Amen. This service really is different today. And there's a theory, there's a philosophy behind the service, and that is that in almost every church that you go to around Goleta and even Santa Barbara today, and maybe you go to a mosque, or maybe you go to a congregation, a Jewish congregation, so many of the people who are preaching there on this day have this idea that God is somewhere else, somewhere out in the distant heavens someplace, and that we don't really know about that except for what the preacher says. And what the preacher says is what I call expensive theology. So the preacher kind of channels people like Augustine and Paul Tillich and Søren Kierkegaard and other great theologians of the history of Western civilization, and they say, this is what you need to know about God, this is what you need to know about humanity, this is what you need to know about good and evil, this is what you need to know about original sin, and I'm going to tell it all to you. I'm going to give it to you. And so these great theological ministers spew forth their wisdom about the world. And if you've ever tried, has anybody ever tried to read Kierkegaard? I mean, really, have you ever really picked up the book and started reading it? You would know that, as a matter of fact, it's incomprehensible. I don't even know how I don't even know how the guy wrote it, let alone how it is that people can look at that and say, oh yeah, that's true, he's doing it right, yeah. But I do know that people are attracted to expensive things. You know, we like to be associated with stuff that's expensive, stuff that's complicated, stuff that's intellectually superior to everything else in the world. And so we are attracted to that stuff, even though none of us have ever read it before. I have a new way of doing this. And my new way has to do with what I call cheap theology. And that is that the only thing we really need to know about theology is sitting right here in this room. That within and among us, these people, is all the wisdom we need to know about. So when I say we tell our stories on Sunday morning, I'm saying that we need to be talking about theology. That is theology. It's the theology of our personal lives, our personal experiences. It's the theology that the sun will come out tomorrow, bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow, and I believe in that. I believe in that message. It's cheap. Everybody knows that's true. Sure, the sun's going to come out tomorrow. But it's amazing how many people don't make that correlation between that great wisdom of the world, whispering words of wisdom, that it is resident within and among us even now. Before I entered the ministry, some of you already know I was a piano player and a singer. And I was with all kinds of bands over the years, rock bands and quartets and trios and duos. And finally, I ended my career for 5 years as a piano bar player. Has anybody ever been to a piano bar? and what happens in a piano bar? You just sit there and the guy or the gal is playing along and everybody knows the songs and everybody has a good time and there's no great big pressure. We're just singing songs that we know on the radio and we hear these songs. And if you ever go to a bar like that or a place like that, you can watch the people and they know the words by heart. How many of our hymns do you know by heart? Where you could be singing them without the book, without looking at the words. And yet you go to a bar, and when Elvis starts singing Love Me Tender, everybody knows the words. And you know what? That's a really powerful theological song. Love me tender, love me sweet. And we could listen to Willy Nelson. We could listen to Beyoncé. We could listen to Whitney Houston. There's all kinds of people we could listen to, and we would know the words of the song because the words of the song have to do with our experience. When Whitney sang, I will always love you, we know what she's talking about. We know what that song means. It means something that's happened in our own lives, and we can relate to that. I don't care what Kierkegaard said about that. But I do care about what Whitney Houston said about that, or Elvis, or anybody else that you can think of. And so the subject and the theme of this service today it comes from my experience in the piano bar, where I would go in and sit down and sing, and night after night, I would be there, and usually like one night out of the week, the same crowd would show up every week. And then on Thursday night, the same crowd would show up. There were the Thursday night people. And then the biggest crowd, of course, was the Saturday night people. And so they would show up, and we would just have a good time together talking about God. And yet never mentioning that three-letter word, not a four-letter word, but a three-letter word, God. But that's what we were doing. We were talking about divinity, about how every person has inherent worth and dignity. It's built right into you so that as you're born, it's part of who you are. And we would sing about things like that. So it was a great time to be together. And take this away because it's bothersome. So here it is. So this was the song that I usually opened up the night with in my little kingdom, my little realm of the piano bar. And I really hope this chair doesn't slide out completely. And if it starts sliding, just put your I didn't realize that was what might happen. And by the way, remember that all of these songs are metaphors. They're all symbolic of bigger truths, larger truths. And so when Sally Bowles sings this song, then no, maybe it was Joel Gray that sang this song. Then you know that he's not just talking about a cabaret, the Kit Kat Club. He's talking about life. And so he says, what good is sitting alone in your room? Come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Put down your knitting, that book and the broom. It's time for a holiday. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Come taste the wine. Come hear the band. Come blow your horn. Start celebrating. Right this way, your chair, pew, is waiting. No use permitting some prophet of doom to wipe every smile away. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. That's true. That is another true song. It's in the Bible. So that world that I lived in was so different in so many ways as a musician and as a performer and singer that this is a song about that. Okay. Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? Miracles, I guess, they still happen now and then. Step into my heart. Leave your cares behind. Welcome to my world. Build with you in mind. Now this is the biblical part. This is in the book of Luke. Knock and the door will open. Seek and you will find. Ask and you will be given the key to this world of mine. I'll be waiting here with my arms unfurled, waiting just for you. Welcome to my world. Here's my philosophy. Oh, I could just sit around making music all day long. As long as I'm making my music, I can't do nobody no wrong. And who knows, maybe someday I'll come up with a song that makes people want to stop the fussing and fighting just so long enough to sing along. And I say, I believe in music. I wish y'all would help me. I believe in love. I believe in music. And I believe in love. Now listen to this. Music is love and love is music, if you know what I mean. And people who believe in music are the happiest people I've ever seen. So clap your hands and stomp your feet and shake your tambourine and lift your voices to the sky. God loves you when you sing. I believe in music. And I believe in love. I believe in music. And I believe in love. Okay, here's the last verse, as in Bible verse. Music is a universal language, and love is the key to peace and hope and understanding and living in harmony. So grab your sister by the hand and let's sing along with me. And lift your voices to the sky. God loves you when you sing. Everybody say, I believe in music. And I believe in love. And I believe in music. And I believe in love. Oh, yeah. And just to prove it, I'll ask you a question about this. So this is the exam. Have I told you lately that I love you? Could I tell you once again somehow? Have I told with all my heart and soul how I adore you? Well, folks, I'm telling you now, this heart would break in two if you refuse me. Oh, I'm no good without you anyhow. Have I told you lately that I love you? Well, darling, I'm telling you now. These are all biblical songs, folks. I hope you're hearing it. I bet you never read this Bible before, but this is it. I am really going to slide backward. I know that's going to happen. Once upon a time, there was a tavern where we used to raise a glass or two. Remember how we laughed away the hours and dreamed of all the great things we would do. But then the busy years went rushing by us, and we lost our starry notions on the way. And if by chance I'd see you in the tavern, we'd smile at one another and we'd say, you ready? Here goes. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We'd live the life we choose. We'd fight and never lose, for we were young and sure to have our way. This part's easy. La 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 la. Those were the days. Oh yes, those were the days. Just tonight I stood before the tavern. Nothing seemed the way it used to be. In the glass I saw a strange reflection. Was that lonely man really me? And then through the door there came familiar laughter. I saw your face and heard you call my name. Oh, my friend, we're older but no wiser. But in our hearts, the dreams are still the same. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. And the life we choose, we'd sing and never lose, for we were young and sure to have our way. La 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 la. Those were the days. Oh yes, those were the days. It's true. But now, the problem is we're remembering, and that's what we do at church, you know. We remember the days gone by, the former days. We read scriptures and we read history accounts of what happened in the past. We review the history of our own congregation here, and we talk about that, and that song kind of comes up. Those were the days. Remember the golden days when Live Oak was first getting started, and there was this excitement in the air, and we had these brave dreams of what we wanted to do, and how sometimes over time some of those dreams faded a little bit, and we had to move on. And I think about my own past, and yeah, I remember the days when that song came out when I was in college, and how much fun it was to be with those kids and those even the classes that I was taking or not taking, and it was a good time. But then when I really think about it, I remember that life wasn't that good for me in those days. There were some things wrong, and I've told you the stories about this before. So I'd like to do this song based on another gospel song called The Old Rugged Cross. Maybe some of you remember that from your growing up, if you were a Baptist or a Methodist or something like that. It's a pretty neat song, but I've changed the words to it. I hope you don't mind. In a room far away stood an old closet door, the emblem of suffering and shame. There I hid from my folks and my friends and myself. Oh, it caused me to suffer such pain. So I'll banish that old closet door. To my parents and friends I'll come out. Yes, I'll fling wide that old closet door, and I'll tastefully flaunt it about. To that old closet door, some will ever be true, and its shame and reproach gladly bear. Yes, behind that old door, many suffer and die. Ain't no way that you'll find me in there. So I'll banish the old closet door and no longer in agony hide. Yes, let's banish that old closet door and exchange it right now for gay pride. Amen. The prohibition against applause doesn't work today. If you want to do that, that's cool. Although this really isn't a performance so much as it is sharing my scriptures with you and the scriptures that I live with. And so after that song came out this Broadway play that has this song in it. I am my own special creation. So come take a look, give me the hook or the ovation. It's my world that I want to have a little pride in. And it's my world and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can shout out loud, I am what I am. I am what I am. I don't want praise and I don't want pity. I will bang my own drum. Some think it's noise, but I think it's pretty. There's one life and there's no return, no deposit, just one life. And so it's time to open up your closet. Life's not worth a damn till you can say, hey world, I am what I am. True story. Okay, so As you all know, I am here for the time being. And that means that sooner or later I'm going to leave because I'm the interim minister, and the interims only get to stay around a little while, and especially if they don't die on the piano bench. Maybe this will work. Yeah, this is better. Yeah. So from Roger Whittaker comes this song, which is dedicated to being an interim minister. They say, when you gain a lover, you begin to lose a friend. That the end of the beginning is the beginning of the end. The moment that you're born is when you start to die. And the first time that we said hello began our last goodbye. We know each summer's coming means that winter's waiting there. And gold would not be precious if we all had gold to spare. You only know how low is low the first time that you fly, and the first time that we said hello began our last goodbye. If I could love forever, it is certain I would never know a single second so sublime. That moment at our meeting when our hands first touched in greeting, how I wanted to hold back the hands of time. When they begin the overture, they start to end the show. On the day that you all hired me, I knew that I would go. The sound of all our laughter is now echoed with a sigh. And the first time that we said hello began our last goodbye. That's true. That's a true story. Those of you who were there know about that. And the other thing about being an interim is that sometimes you have to do difficult things with the people. And I know some interims who were actually fired because they overstepped their boundaries of what they were allowed to do. And so I would like to offer this song from Joe South and also Lynn Anderson about what we're really talking about here with my work as an interim here at this place. I beg your pardon, I never promised you a rose garden along with the sunshine. There's gotta be a little rain sometime. Oh, when you take, you gotta give, and let's live and let's go. Whoa, 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 whoa. I beg your pardon, I never promised you a rose garden. So smile for a while and let's be jolly. Love shouldn't be so melancholy. Come along and share the good times while we can. I beg your pardon, I never promised you a rose garden along with the sunshine. You gotta be a little rain sometime. When you take, you gotta give, so live and let live or let go. Whoa, 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 whoa. I beg your pardon, I never promised you a brighten up even your darkest night. Now, I know you can sing this song. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Summer spent the summer or fall. All you got to do is call, and I will be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. And so that's true, but you can also sing that to each other all the time, all the time. It's part of my gospel book, which, by the way, is called the Gospel of Thomas. Maybe you've read it. You've seen it in the bookstore. It's around. And my gospel is a little different, just like the other Gospel of Thomas is a little different than the other gospel books. But it's about love, and it's about hope. It's about believing that the future has goodness in it and that we can participate in that goodness. And it's about responsibility to make that goodness come true. So this from West Side Story is about our future. There's a place for us, somewhere a place for us, peace and quiet and open air wait for us somewhere. There's a time for us someday, a time for us, time together with time to spare, time to learn and time to care. Someday, somewhere, we'll find a new way of living, and we'll find a way of forgiving somewhere. There's a place for us, a time and place for us. Hold my hand and we're halfway there. Hold my hand and I will take you there, somewhere, someday, somewhere. True story. True story. And here's the way it can happen. We're getting near the end here, so hang on. Oh, we ain't got a barrel of money. Maybe we're looking and funny, but we'll travel along, singing a song, side by side. Oh, we don't know what's coming tomorrow. Maybe trouble and sorrow, but we'll travel along, singing a song, bye, bye, bye. Through all kinds of weather, what if the sky should fall? As long as we're together, it really doesn't matter at all. Well, we all had quarrels and parted. We'll be the same as we started, just to travel along, singing a song, side by side. That's the key right there. Talk about a Bible verse. That's a Bible verse right there. But remember that because it's true, be sure it's true when you say, I love you. It's a sin to tell a lie. Millions of hearts have been broken just because these words were spoken. Oh, can I love you? Yes, I do. I love you. And if you break my heart, I'll die. So be sure that is true when you say I love you. 'Cause it's a sin to tell a lie. All right. I love to be able to use that word sin occasionally. It's a thrilling thing for me as a preacher to say, sin, it's a sin. Okay, and so all of these songs are about what I believe in, and I believe in this one. If I can help somebody as I go along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or a song, if I can show somebody that we're traveling along, then my living shall not be in vain. If I can do my duty as a good man ought, if I can bring back the beauty to the world that is so wrought, if I can spread that special message that the Master taught, then my living shall not be in vain. You know my living shall not be in vain. Then my living shall not be in vain. If I can help somebody as I travel along. And I really believe this, that my living shall not be in vain.
Well, my heart is full. So in the spirit of cheap theology of the God or Spirit within and among us, we're also celebrating Valentine's Day. At least I am in this way with my community, celebrating the love and the hope that we share with each other side by side. And I'm also excited about the Chinese New Year of the snake, which begins today, because I've been thinking a great deal about shedding my skin, the detritus of my old life, my past life that no longer serves me, that I'm no longer living, to make space for what is happening now and for what I want to come into my life. So I think this is a very exciting day. And I hope that we can all make space for what is coming and what we want to come.
Yeah.
others were often put in jail and sometimes even executed for their beliefs in free religion and religion of the heart. And so these tyrants used to capture these people and try to put down the truth by putting these people in jail. And you know what? I think we have won out so that the world today has this message of freedom and joy and goodness and hope, which is resident in this world right now. So when we sing this last verse, let's think about our precious forebears and the wonderful way that they were able to make the path